able to view the session live as well, but I am not seeing where I can view it. Oh, okay, here we go. View it. Okay, I think I won. I think you can see me just fine. Yay! Okay, hi everybody. It's Krista of KristaDavid.com. I am trying something new. I have my camera way back there, so hopefully you can hear me. I have my camera way back there, so okay, I think you can. And so yeah, I'm Krista, and this is Sunday Summary, Creative Entrepreneurship, Uncensored, and also unedited because it's live. So anyway, thank you for joining me this week. I am going to, first of all, let me just say, I think I put this in the title that this past week I've had all the feelings in the world. I think even now I'm having all the feelings in the world, and we'll get to that in a minute because I promised that I would be honest about this whole journey. So first off, I'll start with the summary just to kind of give you the rundown of how last week went, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the bumps. I don't know if we would call them bumps in the road, but just things that happen that are just honest things. So first off, I was on vacation last week and the week before. Yay! I took a little break. Also, wait a minute, let me see if I can find out if anybody's here. I don't really know how to use this on my computer, so please forgive me. Bear with me. I just want to make sure I can see anybody's comments or anything, and I'm not really sure if I can see your comments. But anyway, I will answer your comments definitely after the broadcast because for some reason I can't see them. Oh, actually, I think I can. Oh, hey, Gemini Fly, how are you? Can you please remind me of your name? Because I searched your site and everything, and I was just like, is Gemini her name? You've been so sweet and so supportive. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm wearing your cute earrings today, Gemini Fly, too. You guys, she made these hand-painted earrings. You can, I don't know if she still sells these, but she sells some other earrings as well. They're really nice, so you can check those out. So anyway, this past week I was on vacation, so I was pretty much still doing whatever I wanted to do. And did the video go out? I don't know what happened. Okay, I think it's still working. I'm so sorry. This is really challenging to do when you don't have a person in the house with you to check on the camera. So unlike the weeks previous to this week, I was using the front-facing camera and I had it in front of me so I could like see that I was on the screen. This week I'm using the back camera and I have it on a tripod because I was trying to be fancy and kind of get my life together, but it's hard to do that when you don't have anybody in the house to double check that things are working. So anyway, more about the filming studio in a second. So last week I was on vacation, and you know, I was just running around the city, seeing art, going to galleries, having random lunch dates and whatnot, just sort of frolicking around, and it was great. In addition to that, there was also some little hiccups in last week as well. I had to get a bunch of iron infusions last week, so as a result, I was really achy, and I started having bouts of insomnia. So I hadn't slept for like 3 days in a row, or just I didn't sleep through the night, and it was just really bothering me. And in addition to not being able to sleep, I was having all these mini panic attacks. Like, I'll be in the middle of a gallery looking at some art, like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm so happy to be free. What day of the week is it? It feels like Saturday, but it's a Tuesday, and I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm running around the city like, I'm free. And, and, and I would just have these little mini panic attacks, mainly because I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell did I just do? What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, I need to get to work. I need to get to work. But then I kept telling myself, but you're on vacation, so you can't really think about that right now. You'll think about that next week. Just stay on vacation. And, so that was hard. I was having these little mini freakouts, and I don't know why, because I'm telling you, I am a planner. So I've written out my stuff, and I'm like, okay, you don't have to think about money right now, but that still doesn't stop me from thinking about money. Even though you're like, it will be okay, I'm still like, oh no, don't go get a manicure this week because you need to save that money. But then it was like, that's dumb, you need to go get your manicure. So I went and got my manicure, because I'm just having irrational thoughts about money and provision. While at the same time, I'm having these feelings of like, no, but there's just so much abundance out there. I know that. I believe that with all my heart. So I've been having all of these up and down feelings, and it's been challenging because I usually don't like to have to worry about certain types of things. But yeah, that's just the honest truth. I've been having all these sorts of anxiety, panic things happening in the midst of really having a pretty great week. Like, I had I had an informational interview with someone in Brooklyn at Brick, and that was great. I had a client interview that went, as well as I thought it would go. And now we're in the next phase of the work, which is developing the scope of the project and figuring out how I can add the most value and what is reasonable for me to work on versus the organization hiring someone else to do certain things. I mean, that kind of thing. So it was in the midst of all of these feelings where, yeah, there are good things happening. I'm working. Even though I'm on vacation, I'm still having the client meetings. I'm still making connections, networking, seeing art, filling my spirit and my well with inspiration. I clean my studio and organize things, so it's just a beautiful space to go in and work. I was feeling incredibly grateful for all the things that I have at my disposal when it comes to sort of being a creative entrepreneur. Like, I have everything I need. I have a laptop, a big computer, I have a phone, I have a video camera, I have a digital SLR, I have all my art supplies, I have a mailing list of people who like to hear from me when it comes to my work. I'm making connections in the art community in New York City and locally in the Bronx. Like, I have everything that I need, but despite that, I was still having these mini panic attacks. And that's the truth. Oh, Ginger, yes! You have the cutest name, Gemini. I love that name. It just makes me happy. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So, I say all that to say that even though I was on vacation and I'm in this space of like, oh, full-time entrepreneur, artist, I am still having these feelings. And that every day is not like, oh, okay, let's go. Let's execute this perfect plan that you've written down. It's not like that. There are days when sometimes I forget that I even had plans, and then I wake up as if I didn't have those plans or I have any plans, and that, oh my God, what the hell did I just do kind of thing. And that usually only lasts for about 5 minutes or so, because I'm like, no, you know exactly what you're doing. You may not know exactly how it's going to work out, but you know what the steps are to make this thing work, period. you know. So stop acting like you don't know, Krista, you know. So anyway, I just have to keep reminding myself that I do know the things that I need to do in order to make this work, and that I don't have to be freaking out about money, because I did think about that. And when challenges do come up, I'm just like, okay, so that's a challenge. What are you going to do? Okay, like I had an issue with my health insurance, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't bank on that happening, and I just came up with another plan, and I was just like, don't think about it anymore. That's what you're going to do. And I wrote it down because I was like, come next week, I don't want to be freaking out again about health insurance. I just need to go back to my notes and remind myself that I made a plan for that, and I don't need to think about it anymore, and I don't need to give it any more headspace. So that's another thing that was really important this week for me. Having my feelings, experiencing my feelings, writing down my plans, rereading the plans, just so that I'm not like freaking out about the same thing over and over and over again. It's just getting annoying. With all that being said, next week or tomorrow is my very first day at the office. And we talked a little bit about in a couple videos ago how I made this crazy schedule of like, I want to have a tidy public health practice and a tidy art practice, and I want them to be separated by different days of the week. And I'm so happy that I went through that and realized that that is not going to work for me, probably at all. One, I'm realizing that I am very creative late at night, and I could just be a holdover from the fact that I worked my day job for so many years and I was just making art at night. So like when I leave this video, I'm going to go into my studio and make some collages, because I feel inspired at night, like between 9 and midnight. That's when I want to work on art. So as far as my schedule for this coming week, I have no idea how it's going to look. I just know what I need to accomplish. And I'm going to try that route, try this whole deliverable-based route. Like there's certain milestones that I need to make this week in order to feel like I'm being productive and I'm sort of executing my plans, which are still forming. Like they're not perfect or finished. And then the two things that really helped me this week with dealing with all of my feelings. One, I think I show this, if you're not following me on Instagram, you probably should. That's at KristaDavid.art, at KristaDavid.art on Instagram, mainly because I'm really into Insta stories. It's basically the lazy girls Snapchat. I just couldn't get into Snapchat. It was just too much for my mind. And now that Instagram basically has Snapchat built in, that's what I use, and it's called Insta Stories. So basically I take you around my day, and last week I spent a lot of time, in galleries and stuff like that, so there was a lot of art to be seen, but each week it would vary, or each day it would vary. Tomorrow I'll probably, oh man, I gotta cancel that meeting, I just thought about that. For those of you who know what's happening in New York City right now, there was this explosion down in Chelsea, and I'm okay, my family's okay, my partner's okay. I checked on a couple people that I know in the area, they're okay. But I just realized I have a meeting in the morning in Chelsea, which I'm going to have to email this person and see if we can just do a phone email, because I'm not going downtown because it's going to be crazy. Okay, so anyway, see, stuff happens. What was I saying? Oh, the two things that helped me out this week, and hopefully I'm not rambling. I feel like I am. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to just drop them in, because I can see my screen here on my computer. But the two things that helped me this week deal with all of my feelings, and I think this is really important for anybody doing anything creative, because it's such a vulnerable thing to kind of make your thing, whatever your thing is your mind has to be all right. Like you have to have the mindset of an entrepreneur, which I'm realizing that despite having read a whole lot of books about this, until you're actually in it, the books are they're just books. Um, because it's not until you're in the space where you have to start to implement the tools and techniques, and then you start to see it working. So one of the books that I'm reading, thanks to a friend, a fellow artist friend of mine, is this book, and yeah, you can see it. That sticker is not a part of the book. Create Your Art Career, and it's by this woman named Rhonda Schaller, Schaller. And the tagline is practical tools, visualizations, and self-assessment exercises for empowerment and success. And so far, this has been a really great book. I'm just in the beginning, but she starts off the book with doing a guided meditation. Now, I don't know if you meditate. I never thought about meditating. I'm a Christian. I pray. We do use the word meditate, but not in the same sense as folks who do like guided meditation would use it. But I was intrigued by the breathing meditation she starts off in this book. And one of the things that my best friend, who's I talk about her all the time, who's a therapist, she's all, whenever I'm like having a panic situation, she's like, just breathe. And like literally on page 1 of this book, the author says to breathe, because what you're about to do, i.e. playing your art career, is going to be hard work. And you have to remember to breathe. So she does this guided meditation, which you can get online if you're interested. I'll put the link in the, when I post the video, I will put the link in the video comment box. But if you want to go to it, it's called createyourartcareer.org. Createyourartcareer.org. And there's like a 15-minute guided meditation on there. And I did it twice this week. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe that it worked. It really, one, I was lightheaded, probably because I was breathing so deeply. But I was really calm and relaxed. And then I just had this spurt of productivity immediately afterwards. And then I remember a day later, maybe a day and a half later, I was feeling a little more anxiety, just random. And then I came home and I just sat on the couch and did the meditation again. And it was very helpful, and I'm probably going to do it again tonight. And it's just a simple breathing exercise. Breathe in, breathe out, calm, think of trees kind of thing. But it was very, very helpful. So I'm going to probably do more of that, and I'll be working my way through this book this week. And I don't want to go through it too fast, but I'll be working through it mainly this week. It's been very helpful. So that was one thing that helped me deal with all my feelings. Another thing that usually helps me with my feelings, but it really is a bad habit, I am a huge procrastinator. I've known this about myself for so long. It's just how I have been my entire life. I will make something so large in my mind and I won't move on it until it's like, you gotta do this now. And then I'll go into like crazy focus mode, get it done, it's done, delivered, no problem. But then I hate myself because I'm like, I didn't enjoy doing that because it freaked me out. So anyway, so the second thing that I looked at this week, and it was actually yesterday, my best friend showed me this TED Talk by some guy named Tim Urban. You probably have heard of him. I haven't read any of his stuff. I don't know anything about him. I just watched the TED Talk. It was entertaining, and it was all about procrastination. And he gives this visual, sort of little cartoon visual. And basically, I have monkey brain. Basically, my monkey brain just goes into all these tangents. Whenever I don't want to deal with my feelings, I will go and just randomly Google something and then go down a rabbit hole. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, so that is why the bees were in my apartment on Tuesday. Like, it's just dumb, right? Or not dumb, I'm naturally curious, so I'll just go search for something, and then I'll go down this rabbit hole. And I actually enjoy making connections between, you start with one topic, and then the next thing you know, you're like jumping from topic to topic to topic and sort of trying to figure out how they all connect. Anyway, it's a weird thing that I do. Anyway, it's my form of procrastination and avoidance. And I realized after watching Tim Urban's TED Talk was that I have monkey brain, and I really do need to get it under control, because you only have a certain amount of days to live in your entire life, and you don't really want to waste them not working on the things that you really want to work on. So that TED Talk was really helpful, even though it was only 14, TED Talks are 14 minutes long. And it gave me a lot to think about, especially going into this week. I don't want to get into this habit of like, actually it was a third thing also that helped me this past week. I don't want to get into this habit where I'm like doing random things and not working on the important thing. So this Tim Urban's TED Talk, and then my man Seth Godin. I love Seth Godin. Oh, I love him. He's so cute. Anyway, Seth Godin has a podcast. I've been binge listening to his podcast. In one of the episodes, I can't remember which one it is. Maybe it was the 6th or 7th one from the start of the podcast sessions. And he talked about basically just doing the hard thing first. And another thing that I do when I'm like having feelings or overwhelmed or anxious or whatever, I will start doing that's a motorcycle outside, my window's open. I'll just start doing stuff, and it's not the hard thing. It's not the most important thing that I need to do. So I want to be mindful of that going into this week. So there are a lot of things I can be doing to forward my business. And I just don't want to be working on things that are just non-consequential, right? Things that are not going to give me the most bang for my buck, or like be a leap forward. Back when I was working full-time and then doing my dream job stuff, my art making in the evenings and the weekends, I was a big proponent of take baby steps. Baby steps are still steps. They're important. You're going to use the time that you have to work on towards your dream. But now that it's flipped and it's like, no, this is your full-time job, I'm of the mindset where I need to be making big leaps, like moving forward in committed action. There's no time to be playing around at all. If not, then the panic monster, and if you watch that Tim Urban TED Talk, you know what I'm talking about. The panic monster will set in, and that is the last thing that I need and want right now. So I want to make sure that I'm taking big leaps forward, especially because this is my full-time job. So there's no time for like tottering around, doing the little things, not doing the big things that are going to move my business forward, working on everything else around the thing instead of, I don't know, making art, fiddling around on like dumb stuff like YouTube, instead of completing a full collection of work that I can then shop around to people. So I want to be mindful of those things. So that is, in a nutshell, the summary of this past week and like what I'm thinking about going into the new week. And yeah, so that's just where I am. I mean, this is the fact that I was on vacation, in air quotes, and having all those feelings just makes me sort of honestly anxious but excited for this coming week. I really want to see how I'm going to show up. I'm going to plan to show up in a way that is on task, on target, committed, focused, not overthinking things, just going forward, going for it. But who knows, if I end up crying in a fetal position, I'll embrace that too, and I'll let you know about it next week. That is the truth. So, it is 9:25, And you know I like to end these things at 9:30 because Sunday I am so ready to turn down. But I'm actually going to go make some work. But if you have any questions for me, please let me know. One of the things, actually, did it finish uploading? Gosh, what is going on with the YouTube? So here's what I'm doing, just so you know. I am trying to archive all these Facebook videos that I've been doing and put them on the YouTube channel, just so that they're in a place where people can like access them in an organized way. In addition to that, creating a page on my website where there's a nice little archive, just so that, you know, people can reference them as they need them, and that I have them all at one location. But YouTube takes forever to upload a video. This thing has been uploading for like 2 hours, and that's video number 1. Anyway, so once that's up, I will definitely let everybody know by posting it on the Facebook. That was my bae calling me, and I think I need to remind him that I am on live from 9 to 9:30 and not to call me. He's probably going to call back. So anyway, I'll have the archive up just so that you can reference the videos more easily. In the meantime, though, you can find me on Instagram at kristadavid.art. You can find me on my website, my blog, at kristadavid.com. And then you can also find me here next Sunday at 9 p.m. Oh, I didn't tell you about the filming studio. So basically, I'm just trying to get better at this filming situation with lights. And as you can see, the camera's not up in my face. It's kind of back there. I'm going to keep experimenting with it because I really want to do better for y'all, for me, for all of us. So I'm going to keep trying. And maybe next week I'll have a different sort of background and, you know, all sorts of things. I'm going to try my best because why not? So if there aren't any questions, and I don't see any here. Oh, Arsha, you're watching? Arsha is like my internet and in real life shero. Teasing the trap. Yes, she's running things in those internet streets. Okay, people. And yes. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I am trying to do better with these videos and the lights and all that stuff. I'm going to get better. But I did name the series or the sessions Sunday Summary. And my best friend helped me with that name. And I did post it on Instagram early today. So that's better than not posting it at all. Yes, yes. It will get better. I will start letting people know earlier, and then hopefully I can start collecting questions in advance, so I have at least 1 or 2 questions to answer live. So if you have anything that you want to know about me, my art, this creative entrepreneurial journey that I'm on, leaving my 6-figure salary job, if you have any questions, you can email me at krista@kristadavid.com. Krista, Christa, @kristadavid.com. Email me your questions, and then I can like read one next week. I don't have to name you in it, and then answer it. So you can ask me pretty much anything. I am pretty much an open book. And if I don't want to answer it, then I won't answer it. But other than that, I am going to end the broadcast at exactly 9:30. But thank you so much for joining. This is going to get better, and I even feel better. I feel less anxious talking to my phone and all of you. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining. I will post the video shortly. Okay, I'm gonna get up and then I have to walk over to my camera because I don't have a cameraman, a man or woman here to help me. And I'm gonna turn off the broadcast. So Bye. Thank you for the hearts and the high fives. Oh, Asha, you're so sweet.